Hey, it's Kathleen Jasper. Today, we are going to talk about your teacher interview checklist, and we're going to go over each one and how you can nail your teacher interview. Let's get started. All right. So many of you come to me for interview questions and how to, interview well in your teacher or leadership interview. And I have a few things I want you to do before you go into the interview. Number one, I want you to research the school. Now, a lot of you do this already, but I want you to kind of zoom in on something that the school is known for. Perhaps it's a center for the arts, or maybe they have a really cool reading program. Maybe their football team is amazing. If their football team is not amazing, don't bring it up in an interview. But if they have an amazing football team or soccer team or something, find it and be able to talk to it to the principal. Principals love their schools. They are like their children. So if you can find something that is interesting about the school that you can sort of bring up in conversation, make sure you do that. Also, you're going to want to understand what the goals are for the school. And those are usually somewhere on the website or mentioned somewhere. So they might have some sort of reading program or math program. You will want to sort of identify that and be able to talk about it to the principal. You may say something like, I saw that you guys, had really good scores in reading last year, or that you're trying to, go to the state championship in soccer, or whatever it is. It shows the principal that you have researched the school and that you care about the school, and that will pay dividends in the interview. The second thing I want you to think about before going into the interview is how you will relate what you do to reading in the content area. Every single principal wants you to be an ambassador for reading in the content area. So if you are going for a middle school position or a high school position in like social studies or science, you may not think that reading is important in your area, but it is. You need to make sure you are doing your part to push students in reading and helping the school achieve its reading goals. So you might just want to have a couple ways in which you will support reading in the content area. So you will use some of those reading strategies when you read from the textbook in science or social studies. You might reach out to the reading coach to find out, what sort of strategies you can use in reading in the content area. Writing in the content area is also a bonus. Social studies and science is such an opportunity for reading and writing. Scientists read and write. That's all they do all day long. So make sure you are bringing that into your interview and letting the principal know that you will support the reading initiatives in the school. The third thing I want you to think about are the questions that you might ask at the end of the interview. I hate it when an interviewer says, "Do you have any questions for us?" Because I never knew what to ask. But I find that if you ask, what does a highly effective educator look like to you, to the principal or to the assistant principal? The answers you get from them will definitely pay dividends in your teaching and your instruction. Because when your principal says, well, I believe in reading in the content area, I believe in standard-based instruction, I want my teachers to have a well-planned, well-executed lesson. I want my teachers to have good classroom management. Those types of answers are things that you can then do when you are hired so that you do well in your evaluation. Now, a lot of principals will say the same thing, but there may be something, an outlier that a principal really, really finds that's important. For example, when I was an assistant principal, I found that classroom management and student engagement was so important to me. And of course, reading in the content area was also very important to me because I was a reading teacher. So I recommend that you sort of have a way in which you can ask, hey, what does a highly effective instructor look like to you? And that'll get you off the hook so you won't have to answer any more questions. And that is a really good question to ask at the end of a teacher interview. Now, let me show you where to get more resources when it comes to the teacher interview. All right, just go to KathleenJasper.com. Link is in the description below. And in online courses, we have a teacher interview course and a school leadership interview course. In this particular course, I have tons of questions, modules that have to do with each type of question you will be asked. Those in classroom management, students who struggle, standards-based instruction, lesson planning, all of that. And it's only $39.99. I highly recommend. You can see the description here and a little preview of the course over here when you go to this link. I highly recommend this teacher interview course. And we also have the leadership interview course. So if you are trying to become an assistant principal or a principal, this one's $49.99. And again, we have tons of questions and videos that go with each question. Lots of good information here. I was both a teacher and an administrator. I have interviewed tons of teachers and tons of administrators. I know how the process works. I highly recommend these 2 courses. All right. Beyond that, we have lots of resources on our website and on our YouTube channel. Let me know if you have any questions by putting them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching today and have an awesome day.